fellow patriots, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Welcome to the new subscribers, and welcome back to to everyone who continues to follow Hope for Survival YouTube. We appreciate your support, and thanks for tuning in. After the last video I posted titled Welcome to Realville, I got several messages from folks who asked me or stated that I seemed really stressed out. The reality is, no, I'm not stressed out. It's more so up in my game to more so focus more in the areas that I shared to you. Anything that I suggest to you applies to me as well. So is I guess the easiest way to put it is I believe that summer camp is over and it's time to get real. However you want to apply that to yourself is totally up to you. All I can do is offer my thoughts on where we are today and where things are going, and keep it as real as possible, based on my own past experience doing things in third world countries and seeing events, crime, poverty, sexed, S-E-C-T-S, sexed of people, and the realization that it is here and more are coming. So the title of this video is Realville, Welcome to Realville, Part 2. And I want to cover what I believe will be the downfall or failure of many for a lack of having the much needed mindset that you're going to need, we're all going to need in the days ahead. So I wrote out 8 or 9 points that I'm going to share with you. You can take them down, you can apply them how you see best. You may be good in some areas, weak in others, or you may need attention to all of them. I don't know. All I can do is share them with you. The first one is trust. Who do you trust, and do you have trusted agents that you confide in? Oftentimes on podcast and traveling around to different areas, there are people who are total strangers who ask questions that I'm not willing to answer, and they will basically share everything in detail with you, that unless I'm helping you with your own planning, then that's one thing, but to approach me and basically spill the beans is totally different. The larger the group that you may have, the higher the possibility and probability of being infiltrated will become likely. There are certain topics that I will not talk about, and there are certain topics when I hear come up in conversation, I will change the subject, and if they go back to that topic, I will end the conversation and depart. And that's just a general rule that I have. And that is when folks start talking about things that go boom and pow. You can apply that how you see fit. Point 2 is focus, attention to detail. I find this most of the time people have a lack of attention to detail out of habit. They are in comfort zones. They still lack the realization that the world has changed. America has changed. And when you're talking about planning, building plans that involves your family or involves communities, focus and attention to detail is critical, and the lack of it can end with your people losing their life and resources. I shared several times in different forums with folks that typically I almost always have an agenda to doing things. And oftentimes it is to observe and see how people get along when together who are like-minded, or there may be something hidden in there that requires attention to detail and to see if people follow it. Something as simple as posting a comment in one of our Hope for Survival forums asking people to do a task and to follow the steps or criteria that I put in the message that I post. Something as simple as if you would like to be a part of something, or if you would like to attend something, or if you would like to have input to a topic, email your information or email your point to X email address. I specifically state, don't text it, don't post it in the forum, and so forth. About 70-75% of the people follow instructions and they email it as instructed, and there are others who really blow off the steps and they do it how they want to do it, and they put it in the open forum. Okay? The information is no harm, no foul. The point is trying to get people to read the detail and follow the instructions and get used to following instructions, being prompt and precise, meeting the deadline, giving the information, and sending it via a platform that was instructed. And people continually do what they want to do, and this is going to create hardships down the road for these individuals. Okay, when you start talking about doing plans that involve multiple people, you do not do it in a world according to GARP. Okay, you do it based on how you planned it, how it was written, how it was practiced, and you do it with precision and promptness to get the point across. Okay, timeliness. The world is not according to your timeline. Oftentimes, events and scenarios will dictate your timeliness, and if you are a habitual person who is always running late. You don't plan accordingly. Now you have ever how many others who are waiting on you, and you're putting them at risk. So um, that's focus. Commitment to effort, always, and try to be on the offensive or in control of the situation. Commitment. Many people are doing really good things. You're preparing uh, and doing it wonderfully. Okay. The commitment part is are you doing these steps with the realization of why you're doing them? Okay, and that again goes to the mindset. Okay, what is you need to ask yourself, what is your commitment? All right, and this applies to everyone who's around you. Do they have buy-in? What is their commitment? And is their commitment possibly putting you and others at risk? Okay. Realization. It's a different world for real. Okay. It's not a YouTube video and it's not a podcast. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can simply pop on the news, turn the volume down, and just watch the videos of the thousands who are coming to our country from third world countries. Okay? This is not saying that they're all criminals, that they're all bad. There is a percentage of them who are being let out of prisons, serving life sentences. They have psychological issues. Now, the percentage who are not criminals are going to come to a new country with a totally different culture, with minimal resources. They're being dumped in strange places, and they're going to be like all humans, whether they're from outside the country or they're Americans. When they don't have resources and they're hungry and they're cold, they're going to do what most humans will do. And that could impact you, your family, and your community. What steps have you taken to prepare yourself for when these times come to your neighborhood? Understanding. Some of you, like myself, some of you may have traveled, been on mission trips, where you witness third world culture and third world lifestyle, third world crime, and so forth. This is not just coming to America, it's here. Okay? It is not you taking 2 weeks to a month out of your life to travel abroad and see what it's like and then being thankful when you return home to America. This culture is now across the border and it's being spread all over America. Your safety and security and comfort is totally different than theirs. All right? If you are not in a position and you have not prepared to try your best to protect and hold on to the culture and lifestyle that you are used to, you're going to be in deep trouble. Okay? This is why I've talked about for 4 years why it is so important to try and build a community. All right? So you can work together to get through the rough days and months ahead. Application. Application of mindset and skills you have learned. Many of you we've been on this journey together for the last 5 years. Some of you longer than others. Some of you had experience before you came over to Hope for Survival. I've been out to your homes and your communities. I've been able to witness what you know and don't know, how well you've prepared. Um, but in many of these locations, the application of mindset and skills that you've learned is lacking. And that's not a criticism. That is simply when you are not used to this new style or method, the longer you go and not do it, the more you forget. And the harder it is for you to then go back and implement it into your daily life. Okay? Simple things such as varying your routes. Okay? Timing your routes from point A to point B to point C and point D. Making sure a second person, you're part of your buddy team, making sure they know what routes you're taking, and if you have a vehicle problem, a health problem, or a criminal problem, they will have a good understanding of where you should be on that route based on time. Okay, application of mindset and skills that you have learned. I know many who are into preparedness who have spent thousands of dollars on stuff, and most of that stuff is still sitting in boxes. They've never taken it out to read instructions to make sure it works, to get the appropriate batteries, to set up recharging systems for their batteries. How are they going to implement that equipment into their daily life when it's required? I've suggested taking a 24, 48, 72 hour weekend and basically shutting off your power and not tapping into your water and applying these resources that you have purchased. Okay, this does not have to even be based on a big picture SHTF. This could be like right now we have storms that are rolling across. Trees could take out your power. If you live in a rural area, you could lose power and you would be forced to use this equipment. If you haven't been using it, you won't know how it works, and the likelihood is much of the equipment that you bought several years ago, you're going to even forget that you have it. Okay, so you need to take time to dig into these resources and figure out how they work for you. All right, and then build them into your plans. I know you get sick of hearing me talk about plans. Anyone who's honest and steps back and realizes the mass of potential events that could impact us, it is a lot. You are not going to remember all your steps, everything you have, how you're going to use it. You need to write it down. All right. I'll leave it at that. Observation. What is supposed to be and what is different? What around you has changed? I mentioned this briefly in the last video about you needed to up your daily routine to a higher level, going from green light, full speed ahead, to a soft amber, which is your yield. You need to start paying attention if you have property and resources, going out, doing walkarounds, and monitoring. Get used to what is, so when something changes and isn't, you're going to immediately identify it. You're not going to be puzzled. But if you have property and you have multiple buildings on your property, when you go out and check these buildings, you need to use caution and vigilance, because If you have 1, 2, 3, or 4, 6, 8, 10 people like down in Texas who are crossing in and they're taking shelter in your facilities, and you walk upon them, you're going to be as startled as they are, and the result could be deadly. Okay? So, what is supposed to be and what is different? Observation, knowledge, applying your skills and mindset to always do your strengths and avoid your weaknesses until you strengthen them. You may be strong on topics mentally, but if you've never applied them to physically do them, then your skill level is going to drop off drastically. Okay? Your adrenaline, excitement, nerves, you're going to be fumbling things, getting your steps out of order. Okay? This is a weakness, and it's from not taking the time to go forth and do these tasks so that you know how to do them. Okay? So with all this said, trust, focus, commitment, realization, understanding, application, observation, and knowledge. As I talked about primarily in my second book, The Mindset, the goal here is trying to set you up to be left of bang so that you can see things that are out of the norm that most people see or just totally miss and think that they're part of the normalcy of daily life. Okay? And part of this is applying what's called the OODA loop. Okay? I, in the book, talked about a scenario, I believe it was in the dollar store, where the individual was trapped in the middle of a scene with an event that was occurring with a firearm. The OODA loop is observe, orient, decide, and act. You may have 20 seconds to run the 4 steps, or you may have a little time. Every event's going to be different, and only you are going to likely be there to run that process and make a decision. How much risk is involved? Where would you be vulnerable based on the risk? And how are you going to mitigate it? Okay? All these things should sound familiar to you, and that's because I've been talking about them for 4 years. All right, 5 years. We used a building block approach and laid this out for you step by step. We implemented all these topics, provided classes on them, and they were all for a reason. And now you're seeing a culmination of why. Okay? So the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. Okay? Add that with your left of bang, thinking outside the box, and running through your trust, focus, commitment, realization, understanding, application, observation, and knowledge. All right? You may have noticed that many of these are all psychological. All right? If you've read much history and the success of confrontation, warfare, and so forth, you've probably heard the quote that most wars are won before they ever start. It's all psychological. Okay? You can psychologically defeat the threat without wasting any of your resources, without getting any of your people hurt, by simply using psychological steps, logistics to cut off supplies, and so forth. So, hopefully this helps you. It's important, or I wouldn't be here telling you that the Earth's flat and aircraft are really UFOs, and Elvis is still alive, and what else? Bizarre stuff. Okay. I just want the best for you, but only you can take the information and apply it to make your own steps in your life better. Okay. I know many think that the answer to everything is wearing a big pow pow, and sadly, that is not the case. Okay. So thank you again for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Help us grow. Share this information with others who you love. If you like this information in this video, please hit like. If you have comments, please leave them down below. And if I can help you in any way, you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com. You can visit our website at hopeforsurvival.com. And stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. I don't have to tell you how crazy things are getting and continue growing worse in many facets of the lifestyle we're used to in America. And be blessed, and most of all, don't forget to give thanks. Till next time, Bravo Echo out. Thank you for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. If you are new to Hope for Survival, you can check out our books at our webpage. Book 1, which is Hope for Survival, Getting You Prepared for Disasters, and Book 2, Hope for Survival, The Mindset, are both available for order on the website. We also offer the Hope for Survival football stick, which is a memory stick set up as a digital filing cabinet with files already loaded on there for you to digitally copy items such as deeds, auto transcript for ownership, wills, living wills, loans, banking information, items that if your home burned down or you had some form of a disaster, you could have all your important papers already digitally filed on this stick. All you do is simply drag the digital file into the appropriate preset folder so that you'll have it in the event of a disaster. You have to flee your home in a hurry, or also if you're away from home and you need critical information that's personal, if you have your memory stick with you, you can put it in your computer and pull that information up wherever you may be. Again, you can find these items to order at our website, https://www.hopeforsurvival.com, or you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com, and I will try to help you out. Again, thanks for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. Hope to see you again.